The 2016 presidential campaign of Hillary Rodham Clinton was announced in a YouTube video, on April 12, 2015. Hillary Clinton was the 67th United States Secretary of State and served during the first term of the Obama administration, 2009 to 2013. She was previously a United States Senator from New York, 2001 to 2009, and is the wife of former President Bill Clinton. This campaign marked her second bid for the presidency after losing in her first attempt to Barack Obama in the 2008 Democratic primary. Clinton's main competitor in the 2016 Democratic primary election was Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. She received the most support from middle-aged and older voters, and from Black, Latino, and older female voters. She focused her platform on several issues, including expanding racial, LGBT, and women's rights, raising wages and ensuring equal pay for women, and improving health care. The Associated Press declared Clinton the presumptive nominee of the Democratic Party after she reached the required number of delegates, including both pledged delegates and superdelegates on June 6, 2016. Sanders endorsed Clinton's campaign for president on July 12. For her running mate, Clinton chose Virginia Senator Tim Kaine. Clinton and Kaine were officially nominated at the 2016 Democratic National Convention on July 26. Clinton conceded the 2016 presidential election to Republican Donald Trump on November 9 after media outlets declared Trump had exceeded the 270 Electoral College vote threshold needed to win the election and ending the campaign. Background: 2008 presidential run. Clinton announced her decision to run for the 2008 presidential election on January 20, 2007. Early in the race, she was considered the frontrunner for the Democratic Party, and actively sought her party's nomination. Clinton ran ahead in the polls, until Illinois Senator Barack Obama began pulling ahead following the South Carolina primary. In the prolonged primary battle that ensued, during which she received more than 18 million votes, Clinton lost the nomination to Obama. Obama won the general election against Arizona Republican Senator John McCain on November 4, 2008. Post-2008 election. As soon as Clinton ended her 2008 campaign, there was talk of her running again in 2012 or 2016. After she ended her tenure as Secretary of State in 2013, speculation picked up sharply, particularly when she listed her occupation on social media as TBD. In the meantime, Clinton earned over $11 million giving 51 paid speeches to various organizations, including Goldman Sachs and other Wall Street banks. The speeches, and Clinton's not releasing their transcripts, would be raised as an issue by her opponents during the upcoming primary and general election campaigns. In October 2016, leaked excerpts from a Goldman Sachs Q&A session cast doubts about her support for the 2010 Dodd-Frank financial oversight legislation. Anticipating a future run, a campaign in waiting began to take shape in 2014, including a large donor network, experienced operatives, the Ready for Hillary and Priorities USA Action Campaign political action committees, PACs, and other campaign infrastructure. By September 2013, amid continual political and media speculation, Clinton said she was considering a run but was in no hurry to decide. In late 2013, Clinton told ABC's Barbara Walters that she would look carefully at what I think I can do and make that decision sometime next year, and told ABC's Diane Sawyer in June 2014 that she would be on the way to making a decision before the end of the year. Decision-making process. While many political analysts came to assume during this time that Clinton would run, she took a long time to make the decision. While Clinton said she spent much of the 2 years following her tenure as Secretary of State thinking about the possibility of running for president again. She was also non-committal about the prospect, and appeared to some as reluctant to experience again the unpleasant aspects of a major political campaign. Those around her were split in their opinions, reportedly, with Bill Clinton said to be the most in favor of her running again, Chelsea Clinton leaning towards it, but several of her closest aides against it. She reportedly studied Obama's 2008 campaign to see what had gone right for Obama as compared to her own campaign. Not until December 2014, around the time of the Clintons' annual winter vacation in the Dominican Republic, did she say she decided for sure that she would indeed run again. Expectations. According to nationwide opinion polls in early 2015, Clinton was considered the front-runner for the 2016 Democratic presidential nomination. She had gained a broader sweep of early endorsements from the Democratic Party establishment in the 2016 race than she did in 2008, although she did face several primary election challengers, and, in August 2015, Vice President Joe Biden was reported to be seriously considering a possible challenge to Clinton. Clinton had a very high name recognition of an estimated 99%, only 11% of all voters said they did not know enough about her to form an opinion, and according to Democratic pollster Chalinda Lake, she has had strong support from African Americans, and among college-educated women and single women. In Time magazine's 2015 list of the 100 most influential people, Clinton praised Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, who herself was considered as a potential challenger to Clinton, for being a progressive champion. Warren decided not to run for president, despite pressure from some progressives. Announcement. The Clinton campaign had planned for a delayed announcement, possibly as late as July 2015. On April 3, 2015, it was reported that Clinton had taken a lease on a small office at 1 Pierpont Plaza in Brooklyn, New York City. It was widely speculated that the space would serve as her campaign headquarters. On April 12, 2015, Clinton released a YouTube video formally announcing her candidacy via email. She stated that, "Everyday Americans need a champion. And I want to be that champion." The week following her announcement, she traveled to early primary states, such as Iowa and New Hampshire. Clinton was the third candidate with support in national polls to announce her candidacy, following Republican Senators Ted Cruz of Texas and Rand Paul of Kentucky, while Florida Senator Marco Rubio announced his candidacy on April 13, the day after Clinton. Some Democrats saw the proximity of Clinton's campaign announcement to Rubio's as advantageous, as Clinton's announcement might overshadow Rubio's. Clinton's campaign logo was unveiled on April 12, 2015, featuring a blue H with a red arrow through the middle. The logo received criticism, mostly for the red-colored, right-pointing arrow, which critics saw as incongruous to her party. Van Tour. Clinton began her campaign by making short trips to early primary and caucus states. Immediately following her announcement, she made a 2-day road trip in a customized Chevrolet Express van, nicknamed after Scooby-Doo, going from New York to Iowa, and stopping several times along the way, including a much-publicized stop at a Chipotle Mexican grill outside Toledo, Ohio, where Clinton was not recognized by the staff. The trip gained considerable media attention and was, according to her campaign, intended as a bit of political theater. Clinton responded to very few questions from the press during the first month of her campaign. During her visits to early primary and caucus states, she did not hold any formal press conferences, and did not participate in any media interviews. On May 19, 2015, after 28 days, Clinton answered some questions from reporters at an event in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Clinton's campaign announced she would make additional stops in Florida, Texas, and Missouri in May and June. Kickoff rally. Clinton held her first major campaign rally June 13, 2015, at Franklin D. Roosevelt for Freedoms Park on the southern tip of New York City's Roosevelt Island. In her speech, Clinton addressed income inequality in the United States, specifically endorsed universal pre-kindergarten, paid family leave, equal pay for women, college affordability, and incentives for companies that provide profit sharing to employees. She did not address free trade agreements during the kickoff speech, but made statements the next day suggesting that the current negotiations should be abandoned unless improved. The campaign said more than 5,500 people were in attendance, but estimates of crowd size by the press in attendance were less. According to John Cassidy, staff writer at The New Yorker, Clinton, up to a point, took a populist tone. While many of you are working multiple jobs to make ends meet, you see the top 25 hedge fund managers making more than all of America's kindergarten teachers combined. And often paying a lower tax rate. So, you have to wonder, when does my hard work pay off? When does my family get ahead? When? Prosperity can't be just for C.E.O.S and hedge fund managers. Democracy can't be just for billionaires and corporations. Prosperity and democracy are part of your basic bargain, too. You brought our country back. Now it's your time to secure the gains and move ahead. Advertising. In August 2015, the Clinton campaign began a $2 million television advertising buy in Iowa and New Hampshire. The ads featured footage of Clinton's late mother, Dorothy Rodham, and of Clinton herself, and featured women, family, and children. In a review of Clinton's 32 general election TV ads, the Associated Press found that 24 of those ads show or mention Trump. The majority of those 24 ads feature raw footage of him rather than others opining on his words and actions. Platform. Clinton focused her candidacy on several themes, including raising middle-class incomes, expanding women's rights, instituting campaign finance reform, and improving the Affordable Care Act. In March 2016, she laid out a detailed economic plan, which the New York Times called optimistic and wide-ranging. Basing her economic philosophy on inclusive capitalism, Clinton proposed a clawback which would rescind tax relief and other benefits for companies that move jobs overseas, providing incentives for companies that share profits with employees, communities, and the environment, rather than focusing on short-term profits to increase stock value and rewarding shareholders, increasing collective bargaining rights, and placing an exit tax on companies that move their headquarters out of America in order to pay a lower tax rate overseas. Clinton opposes the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, supports the U.S. Export-Import Bank, and holds that any trade deal has to produce jobs and raise wages and increase prosperity and protect our security. Given the climate of unlimited campaign contributions following the Supreme Court's Citizens United decision, Clinton has called for a constitutional amendment to limit unaccountable money in politics. In July 2016, she has committed to introducing a U.S. constitutional amendment that would result in overturning the 2010 Citizens United decision. She believes in equal pay for equal work, to address current shortfalls in how much women are paid to do the same jobs men do. Clinton has explicitly focused on family issues and supports universal preschool. On LGBT rights, she supports the right to same-sex marriage enshrined in the Constitution. Clinton holds that allowing undocumented immigrants to have a path to citizenship is at its heart a family issue. Clinton has expressed support for Common Core. She says, "The really unfortunate argument that's been going on around Common Core, it's very painful because the Common Core started off as a bipartisan effort. It was actually nonpartisan. It wasn't politicized. Iowa has had a testing system based on a core curriculum for a really long time. And you see the value of it, you understand why that helps you organize your whole education system. And a lot of states unfortunately haven't had that, and so don't understand the value of a core, in this sense a common core. On December 7, 2015, in the New York Times, Clinton presented her detailed plans for regulating Wall Street financial activities and related. She proposes reining in the largest institutions to limit risky behavior, appointing strong regulators, and holding executives accountable. Clinton is in favor of maintaining American influence in the Middle East. She opposes Trump's call to ban Muslims from the United States as shameful and dangerous. She also claimed Trump's statement was a reflection of much of the rest of his party, as many GOP candidates have also said extreme things about Muslims. She told the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, "America can't ever be neutral when it comes to Israel's security and survival." Strategy and tactics. Clinton campaign strategists reportedly believed that a strong liberal campaign would mobilize the same voters who swept Barack Obama to victory in 2008 and 2012. Her strategy of embracing Obama's policies proved highly effective with African American Democratic voters in the South Carolina Democratic primary. By March 2016, Clinton's nomination seemed likely, so efforts turned to structuring a campaign against Donald Trump, the presumptive Republican nominee, and determining how to generate enthusiasm for Clinton among the Democratic electorate, which had not turned out in large numbers for primaries. Clinton began the campaign with near universal name recognition among voters, having been First Lady, U.S. Senator, and Secretary of State. Focus on local issues. When Clinton campaigns in a state such as Mississippi, she identifies local issues of interest to the Democratic voters of the state. For example, in Mississippi, she has expressed her concern about lead levels in the water in Jackson, the capital, where it is a hot issue. In other states there are other issues, whatever is the focus of attention. Emphasis on experience and steady leadership. Over the course of her campaign, Clinton emphasized her experience and record in public life, particularly as Secretary of State. Clinton also emphasized the need for calm, steady, experienced leadership in the White House in times of uncertainty, as well as the need to maintain the U.S. alliances across the Atlantic and the world. Press relations. Clinton has had an uneasy, and at times adversarial relationship with the press throughout her life in public service. Weeks before her official entry as a presidential candidate, Clinton attended a political press corps event, pledging to start fresh on what she described as a complicated relationship with political reporters. Clinton was initially criticized by the press for avoiding taking their questions, after which she provided more interviews. Technology. Clinton had access to the same technological tools that were used in Barack Obama's presidential campaign of 2012 and 2008. A team of over 50 engineers and developers previously with Google, Facebook, and Twitter was hired. The campaign used Timshels, the groundwork platform for organizing data generated by mass email programs, tracking donors, and analyzing marketing databases. Ground game. In October 2016, the Clinton campaign had 489 field offices compared to Trump's 178. For context, Obama had 786 and some reports over 800 national field offices. Indiana 2012. Political science research suggests that there is a modest positive relationship between field offices and vote share. Fundraising. Throughout the general election campaign, Clinton consistently led Trump in fundraising. Through August 2016, Clinton, the Democratic National Committee and Clinton's main super PAC, Priorities USA Action, had raised more than $700 million, while Trump had brought in $400 million. According to a September 2016 analysis by the Center for Public Integrity, more than 1,100 elite moneymen and women have collectively raised more than $113 million for Clinton's campaign. These bundlers, who collect checks from friends or associates and give them to the campaign, include lawmakers, entertainment icons, and titans of industry. Among them are Ben Affleck, George Lucas, Marissa Mayer, and Sheryl Sandberg. According to an article in The Washington Post, Clinton's presidential campaign benefited from a network of donors whom the Clintons had methodically cultivated, over 40 years, from Little Rock to Washington and then across the globe. Their fundraising methods have created a new blueprint for politicians and their donors. By the end of September 2015, the campaign's fundraising effort for Clinton's 2016 White House run has already drawn $110 million in support. In response to the article, a campaign spokesman said that it would be misleading, at best, to conflate donations to a philanthropy with political giving. And regarding the campaign contributions, the breadth and depth of their support is a testament to the fact that they have both dedicated their lives to public service and fighting to make this country stronger. As the Post article points out, fundraising for the 2016 presidential campaign exists in a dramatically different environment than in the past, and the 2010 Citizens United v. FEC decision and ruling by the Supreme Court has made it easier for wealthy individuals, corporations, and unions to spend huge, unregulated sums on political activity. In August 2015, the Clinton campaign announced that it had signed a joint fundraising agreement with the Democratic National Committee. The campaign set up a joint fundraising committee with the DNC, the Hillary Victory Fund, and 32 state committees. The Clinton campaign sent the DNC a memorandum of understanding in which the campaign agreed to help the DNC pay off debt in exchange for joint authority over strategic decisions over the staffing, budget, expenditures, and general election-related communications, data, technology, analytics, and research. The memo specified that these arrangements would be limited to preparations for the general election and not the Democratic primary. In the debate between Sanders and Clinton in New Hampshire prior to the New Hampshire primary, Clinton, objecting to the inference that campaign contributions or speaking fees from the financial sector would influence her political decisions, characterized Sanders's references to her Wall Street connections as very artful smear campaign. He responded by saying, "It's a fact. When in the last reporting period her super PAC received $25 million and $15 million came from Wall Street, what is the smear? That is the fact." The Clinton campaign entered September 2016 with $121.4 million in the bank, while the Trump campaign had $96 million. Super PACs supporting Clinton. In May 2015, it was reported that the Clinton campaign lagged behind opposing Republican campaigns in gaining large donations from wealthy donors to supportive super PACs. At that time, many potential liberal, big money donors had not yet committed to support Clinton. Clinton's super PAC fundraising picked up significantly in the general election. Priorities USA Action, the main super PAC supporting Clinton, raised $23.4 million in August 2016. More than half of that amount came from its top 5 donors, and the amount included 11 seven-figure checks. Super PACs that have supported Clinton include Ready PAC, formerly Ready for Hillary, was founded by Clinton supporters in January 2013. It raised money and signed up supporters in expectation of her presidential bid. Ready PAC wound down operations in April 2015, handing over its 4 million-person email list to the Clinton campaign. Priorities USA Action is the main super PAC supporting Clinton's candidacy. It is focused mainly on high-dollar donors. As of September 2016, it had amassed $132 million. The top 6 donors to the super PAC have given $43.5 million, which is a third of the money collected by Priorities USA Action. Top contributors include George Soros, Haim Saban, and Thomas Tull. Other major donors include Steven Spielberg and Jeffrey Katzenberg. Following Clinton's loss in the New Hampshire primary, Priorities USA Action committed $500,000 to a radio campaign in South Carolina and $4.5 million to Super Tuesday primaries. As of late January 2016, the fund had $45 million. The Super PAC raised $21.7 million in August 2016, marking its largest monthly fundraising haul. Correct the Record, which started as a campaign of American Bridge 21st Century, spun off as a separate Super PAC in May 2015. Though Super PACs are typically prohibited from coordinating with campaigns, Correct the Record coordinates with the Clinton campaign on digital content. A spokeswoman for the Super PAC said the coordination restriction would not apply because Correct the Record's defense of Mrs. Clinton would be built around material posted on the group's own website, not paid media. In April 2016, Correct the Record announced it would spend $1 million to find and confront social media users who post unflattering messages about Clinton. In September 2016, Correct the Record announced a project called Trump Leaks. Correct the Record says it will pay anonymous tipsters for unflattering scoops about Donald Trump, including audio and video recordings and internal documents. People. Campaign staff. Robbie Mook served as campaign manager, and is the first openly gay person to serve in that role in a major presidential campaign. Stephanie Hannon served as Chief Technology Officer, and is the first female to serve in that role in a major presidential campaign. Other campaign staff included John Podesta as campaign chairman, Joel Benenson as chief strategist and pollster, Jennifer Palmieri as communications director, and Amanda Renteria as political director. Longtime Clinton aide Huma Abedin was the vice chairwoman of the campaign, and continued in the role she has long played for Clinton as traveling chief of staff and body woman. Fundraising was led by Dennis Cheng as national finance director for the campaign, and main liaison between many major donors and Clinton. Policy advisors. Hillary Clinton named 3 senior policy advisors to lead policy development for her presidential campaign: Maya Harris, Ann O'Leary, and Jake Sullivan. Longtime Clinton staffer Jake Sullivan served as policy director, and Michael Schmidt, Michael Shapiro, and Jacob Liebenluft were on Clinton's policy team. The Clinton campaign had a large set of outside policy advisors who served on advisory groups. On foreign policy, senior advisors included former CIA Director and Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta, former National Security Advisor Tom Donilon, Center for a New American Security CEO Michelle Flournoy, former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, and others. The campaign also had a decentralized system of about a dozen advisory working groups for regional and functional issues such as Asia, Europe, counterterrorism, and human rights. Foreign Policy magazine reports that the campaign boasts a surprisingly diverse cadre of experts, from early career think tankers in their 20s to graying ex-diplomats in their 50s and 60s. On economic policy, outside advisors with whom Clinton regularly consulted included Gene Sperling, former director of the National Economic Council, Neera Tandon of the Center for American Progress, Ann O'Leary, economists Alan Kruger and Alan Blinder, Nobel laureate economist Joseph Stiglitz, Jared Bernstein, the former chief economist to Joe Biden, and Heather Boushey. On August 16, 2016, Clinton named Ken Salazar to lead her White House transition team. Communications, advertising, and design firms. 2 of the Clinton campaign's top media buying agencies were GMMB, which focused on television, and Bully Pulpit Interactive, which focused on digital. The Clinton campaign's analytics director was Ella Kriegel, the co-founder of Blue Labs, a Democratic data firm. The campaign has also hired Burrell Communications, an African-American advertising firm. Graphic designer Michael Birut of the firm Pentagram designed the campaign's distinctive H logo. Birut volunteered his services. Professionals in branding and marketing, such as Wendy Clark of Coca-Cola, and Roy Spence of GSD&M, were brought into the campaign to assist with rebranding Clinton. Caucuses and primaries. Clinton won Iowa by the closest margin in the history of the state's Democratic caucus. O'Malley suspended his campaign after a distant third-place finish, leaving Clinton and Sanders the only two candidates. The electoral battle turned out to be more competitive than expected, with Sanders winning the New Hampshire primary while Clinton scored victories in the Nevada caucuses and South Carolina primary. On 4 different Super Tuesdays, Clinton secured numerous important wins in each of the 9 most populous states including California, New York, Florida, and Texas, while Sanders scored various victories in between. On June 6, 2016, the Associated Press and NBC News stated that Clinton had become the presumptive nominee after reaching the required number of delegates, including both pledged and unpledged delegates, superdelegates, to secure the nomination. In doing so, she had become the first woman to ever be the presumptive nominee of any major political party in the United States. On June 7, Clinton officially secured a majority of pledged delegates after winning in the California and New Jersey primaries. President Barack Obama, Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Elizabeth Warren formally endorsed Clinton on June 9, 2016. Sanders confirmed on June 24 that he would vote for Clinton over Donald Trump in the general election and, on July 12, 2016, formally endorsed Clinton in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. On July 26, 2016, the Democratic National Convention officially nominated Clinton for president and Virginia Senator Tim Kaine for vice president. Presidential debates. The first presidential debate in 2016 took place between Clinton and Trump on September 26 at Hofstra University. This made Clinton the first woman to debate as part of an American presidential debate. The moderator was Lester Holt of NBC. A live TV audience of 84 million viewers set a viewership record for presidential debates. All scientific polls show that voters thought Hillary Clinton performed better than Donald Trump in the debate. The second presidential debate in 2016 took place between Clinton and Trump on October 9 at Washington University in St. Louis. It was a town hall debate. The third and last presidential debate between Clinton and Trump took place on October 19 at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Health. In July 2015, Clinton became the first 2016 presidential candidate to publicly release a medical history. The Clinton campaign released a letter from her physician, Lisa Bardak of Mount Kisco, New York, attesting to her good health based on a full medical evaluation. The letter noted that there was a complete resolution of a brain concussion that Clinton suffered in 2012 and total dissolution of prior blood clots. Bardak concluded that Clinton had no serious health issues that would interfere with her fitness to serve as president. Despite this letter, rumors and conspiracy theories concerning Clinton's health proliferated online. In August 2016, Trump questioned Hillary's stamina and Sean Hannity called for Clinton to release her medical records, fueling these theories. In September 2016, Clinton developed pneumonia. After being seen needing assistance while leaving a 9/11's commemoration ceremony early, she spent 3 days recovering at home, canceling several campaign events, before returning to the campaign trail at a rally at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. The Clinton campaign was criticized by some media outlets for the campaign's handling of the incident and for lack of transparency concerning Clinton's health. Responding to these concerns, Clinton released supplementary health records from her physician, Dr. Bardak, who found that she had had a non-contagious bacterial pneumonia infection and that she had recovered well with antibiotics and rest. Bardak wrote that she was fit to serve as President of the United States. Controversies. Email controversy. In March 2015, Clinton's practice of using her own private email address and server during her time as Secretary of State, in lieu of State Department servers, gained widespread public attention. Concerns were raised about security and preservation of emails, and the possibility that laws may have been violated. Nearly 2,100 emails contained in Clinton's server were determined to be classified when the State Department had an opportunity to review them. According to Clinton, they were not marked classified at the time she handled them. 65 emails were found to contain information classified as secret, more than 20 contained top secret information, and the rest contained confidential information. Government policy, reiterated in the non-disclosure agreement signed by Clinton as part of gaining her security clearance, is that sensitive information should be considered and handled as classified even if not marked as such. After allegations were raised that some of the emails in question fell into this so-called born classified category, an FBI probe was initiated regarding how classified information was handled on the Clinton server. The FBI probe was concluded on July 5, 2016, with a recommendation of no charges, a recommendation th.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.